Hi everyone, welcome back to class. And in this class, today we'll be treating character analysis of Serubawon in Once Upon an Elephant. And first, we should start with theme. The theme is corruption. Serubawon tries every means to make sure he controls the affairs of the village by putting his illegitimate son on the seat of power through dubious means. He turns his back on King Akinjobi and the villagers who believed him to be the mouthpiece of the gods for protection. He invariably pays the ultimate price through the forceful rape of Bisola by her own brother and later dies by hanging himself on the Iroko tree. And then we move to character description. Serubawon is one of the important characters in Once Upon an Elephant. He is the king's medicine man, priest, and the leader of the kingmakers. He is also a close friend of King Akinjobi. He is married to Demoke and has two children. The first is Olaniyono, a product of his illicit affair, and Desala, he is deceitful and a betrayer. Okay, like I said about the description, that you have to tell us the physical things that we need to know, okay, or that has been said or mentioned about that particular character. Okay, so by physical things, I mean, is he married, is he unmarried, is he educated, is he non-educated? That is if we are told in the play, right? If he's married, who is he married to? How many children does he have? If his physical trait is given, say maybe he's tall, he's handsome, he's handsome, he dresses well. All of those things will come under this paragraph, character description. All right, let's move on. Then we move to his roles. And the first is that he is a betrayer. He betrays King Akinjobi by having an adulterous affair with Adebisi, one of King Akinjobi's younger wives, which results in the death of Ajanoko. When caught by Iyagba, instead of owning up to his transgressions, Serubawon maliciously lies and slanders Iyagba of adultery, destroying her respected position in the palace through false accusation of infidelity. So there's no way you want to talk about the roles of Serubawon and you will not talk about this, the fact that he's the betrayer, all right? And I don't know the kind of guts that he has, or maybe he feels that he's powerful and then he could do away with anything. Because how would you, of all women, to have this, extramarital affair with, and it has to be the king's wife? That's the height of betrayal, if you ask me. And to think that the king, Oba Akinjobi, takes Serubawon as like is very, very good friend, very, very good friend, and even the medicine man, his medicine man. So the king trusts Serubawon with his own life. Whatever is wrong with him is Serubawon that would concoct the drugs, the herbs that he would drink. So someone that can actually go to the extent of having an extramarital affair with the king's wife, you know what he can do to the king, all right? And of course, they had a child together, and the product of their illicit affair is Ajanoku. And still on this betrayal, because just like we have it in the character, the roles of Yagba, right? They can also ask you to talk about the theme of betrayal or to analyze Serubawon as a betrayal. So these are the things. The first is that he betrayed the friendship that he had with the king by having an illicit affair with the king's wife. And the second, of course, having an illicit affair with the king's wife, which resulted to having Ajanoku, the product Ajanoku. He betrays his community who look up to him as the voice of the gods and decides out of greed to use his office to his own benefit alone by making Ajanoku do the right that claims the life of the virgin of whom he should protect. So if you've read this play, you will understand that he is the priest and he's also the king of is the lead or the leader of the kingmakers, because there is nothing that he can do outside his office. Whatever they decide, they're still coming to him, and he's still going to be the one because he's the only one that knows about this, right? Okay, so now your office is supposed to help in maintaining law, maintaining order, security, all right? But the same people that rely solely on you, that whatever is going to go wrong, the gods will tell you and you would call their attention to it, and the security that they're supposed to find in you, it's in reverse order. Okay, and so the same people you're supposed to protect by your God, through your God, is the same people, because you want your own son to be the king. The same people are now paying the price for your own actions. Okay, so not only did he betray the king, he betrayed the community. All right, he betrays the love and trust of his daughter by invariably making her the victim of his own actions. Desala wanted to see and talk to her father alone. She is more comfortable telling him what happened to her instead of her mother, not knowing that the same father is behind her ordeal. And that's just an irony, okay? Because after Desola has been taken advantage of by Ajanoku, right? She was insisting she wanted to see her father. She wanted to talk to her father alone. Even when her mom was there, she insisted that everybody leave. That she just wanted to. It was because her mom insisted, on staying that she eventually now had to tell both of them. But she didn't. She didn't tell her mom. Pleaded with her. She didn't tell her mom. That goes to show how far she trusts and believe so much in her father. She feels more secure with her father even than with her mom. And it is ironical that the same man that you look up to, that the same man that you cherish, the same man that you would only share your pain with, is the same man that caused the same thing to you. So that is also an act of betrayal by our very own Serubawon. Now, he is selfish. Serubawon is portrayed as obsessed with power. This is why he seeks to make his illegitimate son, Ajanoku, the new king, before and after Akinjobi's death, even though Ajanoku is not the rightful heir. So apparently, there is supposed to be someone before Ajanoku in order to maintain his own access to the palace. Thus, he forcefully installs Ajanoku as the king without the consent of the other kingmakers. He wants to have someone he can easily control on the seat of power. Ajanoku asked him if he had made him just so he could control him, wondering if he, Ajanoku, is really living up to his name or he's a pawn in the hands of Serubawon. And that came up when Serubawon goes to the palace to challenge Ajanoku, as to why he would do that with his own daughter. Okay, and he started asking questions like, "Why? Maybe I'm not the king after all. Maybe you just put me there just so that you can control it. Since you can't be there, so you need someone to be there to be able to control. So it's as though I'm just a pawn. Okay, I'm just Ajanoko, the elephant, and I'm not an elephant, after all. Okay, so because he needed someone to be there and he needed his son to be there, all right, he decided to what? To be selfish. He decided to be selfish by installing. He didn't even consult other kingmakers. He only called two, and he bribed them. Okay, because he knows that, well, I'm still going to be the one to do it eventually, even if everybody comes together. So there's no point involving everybody. Let's just do this and get it over and done with. Because he wants his own son to be the king. And this brings us to the end of the roles and significance. Each of these roles can be asked as a question on its own. Okay, justify Serubawon as a selfish man, justify Serubawon as a betrayer, justify Serubawon as a political godfather. All of this, and so you need to pay attention. And of course, beyond this, you add your own findings, okay, to your literature notes. It's like come your way again in this class. Bye.